Now, are we on?
Is Mike's on?
Mike's on? Can you hear us out there? Hello, everybody. This is the Power Trip Morning Show's After Party Podcast on a Friday, brought to you by Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer.
Nailed it.
What are you shaking your head about? Is that not right? What happened?
Nobody tells us.
I don't know. Did we change sponsors? We did.
Oh. Well, that stuff wails, though.
But I like them all.
Yeah, they're all good.
I just want to drink something that's alcoholic so I can forget my problems.
Go on vacation from your problems?
Yeah, I want to take a vacation.
Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade.
Oh, hell yeah.
Are
that
you
stuff
kidding me?
wails. That stuff wails.
Do we have some of that? Do we have any of that?
Zach!
Son of a bitch.
Where's Bone Collector? Have him go be a
He's out collecting
seltzer
bones.
collector.
Yeah.
Can I tell you guys something?
What's the name of the stuff again? Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade. Oh my God, that
That
sounds
sounds.
good.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge seltzer fan, but that sounds
Corey,
incredible.
You'd love them.
Yeah,
they're,
I
love
they're really
lemonade.
good.
Being
Yeah,
springtime
they're
and
super
shite.
good.
That
Yeah.
sounds super good.
They're super good. Yeah.
I will try that for sure.
Yeah.
So yesterday I told you guys that I watched that Made You Look thing about the art bit, like fake art, and how it was like an $80 million bit, right? They sold $80 million worth of fake art, right?
Yeah.
So yesterday I started to think about how I think my second career, after I become a master pilot, I think I want to become an art dealer. I want to get into the art scene. Do you think I could do it?
I don't think you can do art, so I think
No, I
art
wanna
dealing
sell
might
art.
be something you could do.
I want to do that. Like, I want to have like a gallery where I'm like, see, that's a Jackson Pollock. See, that's a Monet.
See, that's an MC Escher.
Yeah, that's an MC Escher. I think I could do that, man. I'm not kidding.
Point at things.
Yeah, but just tell you what it is. Like, this is Jackson Pollock's number 5. This is Jackson Pollock's Unknown.
This is Mambo number 5.
Yeah, Mambo number 5, and then have that guy come in. I'm serious, man.
Right.
I almost bought some very fancy art yesterday, but I didn't do it. I stopped myself.
What were you going to buy?
And where were you going to buy it?
Oh, on the internet, a print of one of them,
Well,
but it was like this giant. I don't know, man. The art game's cool.
I don't know if there's
can-
a lot of prints in art dealing.
Yeah.
No, but no,
I think
I'm not
it's-
art dealing
I think
yet.
it's mainly
I'm just-
originals.
I'm just dabbling, but I want to find like
Photoshop.
no. I want to at one point be able to have someone walk into the gallery that I put together, and they're like, "Hey, you know who we go to for art? Meat Sauce. You know what he's
You're
got?
not going to change.
No,
you're not
I'm gonna
gonna
be
go to
Meat
Paul?
Sauce the art guy. No, Meat Sauce the art guy sounds more like an art thing.
You need to come up with a different name
Sounds like a
besides
children's
Meat Sauce.
show.
You got to come up with a different name and
Right.
alias like
Fine.
Pat.
Mark.
It's Susty Art Guy.
Yeah, right. How about
Well-
Mark Knopfler?
Well, Pat Lambert.
That's
Yeah, how about
somebody's name
Pat?
already.
Pat Sauce is going to be my art name.
How about Patrick Paul Lambert?
How about that? That's
That
very
sounds
good.
like a jeans company.
Or an art guy. And I'm gonna. So my goal is that somebody walks.
How are you
in-
going to afford any art that's going to be expensive enough to be dealt?
See, Corey? When you come up with a plan, the money is the last thing I think about.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good
I know.
idea. That's a good point. Yeah.
So there's all these like super rich people, like the guy that owns Tom Ford. When they interview him on
That's
the show,
illegal.
Great dealership.
no, it's when they interview him,
It's a
he's
Luther.
got a not Monet, a
Look at-
Monfy.
Look at Zach.
My God, where were you in?
I saw a guy walking down.
I'm
Lake Street
going to
like that.
Graceland. Graceland.
Yeah, I think that
Right.
the last time I saw a guy like walking like that, he fell into the Bellagio fountains and drowned.
Anyway, keep going about your art dealership.
Anyway,
I'm
Zach,
sorry.
you were saying.
So
You're going to Ford, Zach, Tom
no,
Ford?
so Tom Ford is the guy that sells high-end clothes, and the guy that owns that company is an art collector, and these people pay a ton of money for art. I want to be the guy who has the art that these people come to seek. Now, I got to have a ton of capital. I don't know where I'm going to get that, but
Yeah,
I think
and
it's
also, I'm not trying to shit on your idea, but I am.
you always.
So here's these people with multi-million-dollar paintings potentially, right?
Oh yeah,
Why are they trusting you to sell their paintings
Because
as opposed to
I-
actual art
because
experts?
The one thing I learned in that art thing last night is it's not what you know, it's who you know. And if you know the right people, you can get them in the area. I don't know where I'm going to get the art, but I want to become an art dealer.
Well,
I'd be
that's
good
half
at
the
it, man.
battle.
I'm telling you. I just need to find like $100 million to start. And then I can
Oh,
start
you-
dealing
yeah, you
art.
could do that.
You walk in, you go, hey, see, as you notice, I can only name 2 artists, but hey, that's an original Jackson Pollock. I want that. Okay, here you go.
Who
How
else?
much? Well, I can't remember the other guy's name that does the edgy it's the black thing, squiggly thing that goes like this. That's not Monet, Monfrey.
Billy Idol?
Just name Ninja Turtles.
Money,
Oh, that's
money?
Michelangelo.
Okay, there's one artist.
Yeah.
Name another one.
Leonardo does the Scream thing.
And eats pizza.
No. That the Scream is not Leonardo.
It's Raphael.
It's the Scream is none of them.
Splinter.
No.
Shredder.
No.
Bebop.
Sure.
Anyway, I don't know who the fuck that guy is, but I haven't thought about it a lot. But I want to get into art dealing. That's
Isn't
just
his name like Munch? I'm being serious. Isn't that?
Yeah, it is.
Is M-U-N-C-H?
Have you seen it?
Munch.
Yeah.
Not
you-
in person, no.
The Scream?
Which have you seen the Mona Lisa?
Yeah.
It's small,
Tiny, right?
isn't it?
It's a little bit bigger than this.
Really?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it really is. It's really tiny, and it's got its own wall, and it's roped off like a long, probably 15 feet from it, so you can't really get close to it. But there's always a crowd of people around it.
What
It's
else?
pretty
What
cool.
have you seen the Starry Nights bit? Is that in the same museum?
Same museum. Yes, I saw that. I think that's the same museum because I went to the Picasso. Jesus, man, my memory's bad. It was either Van Gogh or Picasso, and it was in Amsterdam. One of those.
I think it's
two.
Picasso.
Okay, yeah. So I went to that one as well. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, dude, it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I want to be an art collector too.
Let's do it.
But it's going to be Disney's first Prince.
Do you guys? No, this is a long time ago, but do you remember when Baba Booey got
For
into
sure.
that? That's where the
I
Baba.
know.
That's where Baba Booey comes from.
Because he thought the character's name was Baba Booey.
But it was, yeah, and they
What
were.
was it really? Is?
Um,
I don't remember what it really
From
is.
what now? I'm missing that.
That's where the nickname Baba Booey
Yeah,
comes
from like
Is it Baba? Is it Baf? Is it
it's something-
Fooey? Does it start with an F?
Yes, I believe
Is that what it is? Baba
But he
Booey?
wanted to.
Yeah,
He wanted
right.
to buy. Like he would. Gary way early on.
Yeah, right. When
was
he first had
buying
money.
like. Was it art cells? Is that what it was
Yeah,
called?
yeah,
It was
like
like art
real
cells,
prints, yeah.
like,
Thanks.
and that's where he said he goes. I'm looking to get a
Baba Louie. They're
Fred.
saying.
Yeah,
Baba
I'm looking to get a Fred Flintstone and a Baba Booey or a Baba Booey, and they were like, "Wait, what?" That's where the nickname came from.
Right. That's
Yeah,
it. Baba Louie.
Yeah, Baba
Yeah.
Louie. Yeah, and he said Baba Booey.
See, I always thought since his last name was Delabate, I always thought maybe somebody stuttered or stumbled and just his nickname evolved from his last name into Baba Booey. I had never heard that.
No, it was one of those. I mean, my God, in reference to what that article that guy wrote yesterday, it's sort of like meat sauce because Gary would come in and he would stumble over something and they just rip the shit out of him and talk about his gums and his teeth. And so it was Baba Louie,
Boff.
but he
Hey,
called it Baba
Boff.
Booey, and they just destroyed him,
Yeah,
and it became his
The bit.
nickname forever.
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
right.
And now people yell it at golf tournaments.
yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
God,
Somebody wants to know if you're going hiking later. Sauce.
no, I just wear these boots because
Yeah.
they're comfortable and it's wet out.
That's pretty cool. Is it wet out? Yeah, kind of,
Yeah.
I guess, because of the melt. I have an idea, and you can play along, those of you who are watching at home. This is an idea I actually had for the show. I was going to call it Power Trip Paper Trail, but then I thought it probably wouldn't work, but I can't think of anything else to do on the rest of the show today. So I think this might work. So the concept was I was going to write down a bunch of names on pieces of paper, just random names. Could be people on the station, could be people in the Twin Cities, national figures, could be sports figures. And then I would have you guys dip your hand in and pull out a piece of paper, and whatever that name was, you had to tell us what the first thing that came to mind was. Right?
Yeah.
Which I thought might be kind of fun. But yeah, whatever. But now that we have nothing else to do and I can't think of anything else, let's try it right now. So I'm going to
Sure.
say a name, and I literally want you guys to tell me the first thing that comes to mind, whether it be a story or anything like that. And listeners who are watching, if you have something, type it up on the screen, and I may use your name if I see it in time. Right? So here's the first. I'm going to go with Sauce. You're going to go first on this one.
All right.
Eric Nordquist.
PA.
I think Paul thinks this is word association.
Yeah, but that's the first thing I think of when I hear his name.
Tell me why.
I don't know, because that's who he works with.
So this is why I didn't do that.
but I don't know what you wanted. The
We
first
can
thing
tell.
I think of.
Let me
We
do it
can
with, let me
tell.
do it with Corey then. Hold on one second. Let me think. Corey. Henry Lake.
Whew. The first thing I think of when I think of Lake, honestly, is him and I doing Sludge and Lake together, and during commercial breaks, him telling me, dude, this chick that I met at Chino Latino, dude, and he would go on and on about these gals that he met, and I would go, it's great, Lake. It's great, dude. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
And he learned very quickly that I wasn't into the, the kiss and tell stuff.
Yeah.
And all he wanted to do was tell me about the cougars that he hooked up with in Uptown.
You couldn't handle
And,
it, dude.
and I would just say, like, I would just nod and go, that's great, man.
I get it.
That's
now.
great. That's great. So, no, I loved working with Lake, but it's funny because him and I we think of radio, I think 100% the opposite way. But that's why it was fun is I would try bits that were just stupid, and I knew they were stupid, but I would try them, and he would just shake his head at me and go like, "I don't get that, dude." We'd go to break, and he'd be like, "I don't understand why we did that, though." I'd be like, "Yeah, we're just throwing shit out there. It's 7 to 9 p.m." No,
Right.
I would say to him, "I go, dude, nobody's listening. Let's just take a shot at something. Who cares?" I don't get it, dude. I don't get it. And he just wanted to talk sports, so we talked a lot of sports because that was 04 to 09. I was 24 years old. I still really, really liked sports.
Sure, yeah.
Was a diehard Wolves fan. So we were a lot of sports on that show. But man, when we went away from sports, he would check out so fast until the breaks. Then it was chick breakdown.
This doesn't work for
I love
us,
Lake.
Chris, if we don't know the losers. I don't know what you mean by that, Diane. If we don't know the losers. Okay. We'll go to you now, Sauce. Kevin McDermott from Mike Hall, by the way, wants to know Kevin McDermott.
Kevin, the first thing that comes to mind about Kevin McDermott is one, how great of a guy he is. But I do remember when he showed us his finger, the video, not the video, but
the picture for the first
picture of
time.
it, and we were, that's the first thing I think about, because I was like, oh my God. And then,
remember, he was like, basically keep this to yourself too, because that was not for
anybody.
He didn't want us to post it or public, to show how bad it was. But that was a horrific picture
that
of
was
his
so
finger.
bad. Yeah, that's the first thing I think.
God, do you remember? It looked like skeleton.
Yeah.
And he played.
Yeah.
He still
gross.
plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. I think this will be interesting to go this way. For you, Zach, you ready?
Yeah.
This one comes from Matt Collins. What is the first? And obviously, be kind. I don't have to tell you, you're a nice guy. Never mind.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you think of when you think of Jeff Dubé?
His love for hockey, Gopher hockey in particular. He was an analyst on TV, and obviously I didn't get to listen to him too much because P and Dubé were always on during when I was in school. But I loved whenever I could, listen, especially in the summertime. If he ever brought up hockey, and his passion for what he loves was really fun to listen to.
When they won the national championship,
the best.
I didn't care at all.
I didn't either, but it was the best
about Gopher hockey. But he cared so much that I loved it. It was the best. Yeah, it was so cool.
So let me throw this in there because it's weird, because all of us obviously have a bazillion gazillion butterfly effect moments that happened every day that nobody really keeps track of. But I would argue that Jeff Dubé and PA were the biggest butterfly effect in my entire life, because I fell in love with that show. And if I don't find PA and Dubé and love it, I never apply for an internship, and then the rest of my life is completely different. So in a sense, I'm only here because I found that show. So if Jeff and PA had done a garbage show, I would have probably changed the channel and moved on. And I have no idea what I would be doing, but it wouldn't be this fun.
Isn't that the truth? I mean, and again, you guys, obviously it's kind of a joke, but I really don't care about sports at all. I never missed that show. And I've never known anybody to, that's not the right word, but someone I can think of, control PA the way Jeff did without having to be mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to say that PA needs to be controlled, but you get my point. Like, he wrangled him in the way nobody else possibly could. And PA obviously did the exact same thing because Jeff was such a fan. It was just a perfect combination.
It was great, dude. Yeah. It was so good.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. I'll do this one for you, Corey. Mark Rosen.
Well, I think I've told the story a couple times, but I didn't, I had no idea who you or Star were when I got the internship, because I was listening to PA and Dubé at the time, and when Abbott gave me the hey, do you want to be on the morning show with Chris and Mike? I would be like, sure. And in the back of my mind, I'm going, I have no idea who these two are. I hadn't heard you guys do the first 3 or 4 months of the show, and I hadn't heard when you guys were in the afternoon.
Sure.
So I didn't know who Morris was because I didn't care about who the long snapper was for the Vikings, and I didn't know who you were. So when I got onto the power trip, I wasn't starstruck by the two of you outside of Star's size.
Jeez.
But I grew up watching Mark Rosen on Channel 4. So as an intern, here comes Hovan and here comes Kleinsasser, and clearly at 21 years, I'm like, this is so cool. I'm getting to hang out with Vikings. But I got nervous around Rosie for like the first 6 months because I watched that dude my entire youth. So it tripped me out that I was a coworker of Mark Rosen. That took me a long time to get used to, like, oh, Rosie's just one of my buddies. But first 6 months or 12 months, it kind of creeped me out. It was like, I don't know what to say to him. It's like he was kind of like a cartoon character a little bit. So it was a weird transition working with that dude the first 12 months.
When did it go from my goal is to eventually work with PA and Dubé to now I sort of like the morning show. I like working with it, and then seeing a future.
Week
with the morning
one.
show.
I was going to be I wanted to be a writer. I went to the U for print journalism, and the first week I interned was the week that we did the Mr. Perfect Dan Barrero meltdown bit. And I go, this is the coolest stuff ever. This is so much fun. It's so much better than writing. I don't want to write for the rest of my life. I want to do this. So I knew within the first 5 days that this was way more fun than other options I was looking at.
Yeah. What about you with Mark Rosen?
Man, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about Mark Rosen is when I remember when I first started. It's kind of like with Corey. When I first started with you guys, and I would do that bit where it was like a 2-minute bit where I would it's basically what I'm doing now, but I would poorly read stories and you guys would make fun of me. And there were a couple times I would do it, and it just bombed. And I remember I came down the elevator and I felt like, well, that's it. And Rosie, who I'd never really met before, turned back and looked at me and goes, hey, that's funny. And I think I told that story 50,000 times that weekend because I was like, oh my God, that's Mark Rosen. And it was the best.
Yeah, the thing that I think of when I think about Mark Rosen, because I didn't grow up here, is more of his changing his attitude towards the show as the show changed. Obviously a sports guy and somebody who Hall of Famer, media guy, real media guy. And it took him a while, I think, to come around to the idea that we could have fun and make fun of him and he could be okay with it. He wasn't at first, if you remember.
Sure.
But I think when he started getting people yelling,
Alaskan Pipeline
and
Beaver.
stuff like that,
Yeah.
and he understood, this is the next stage of my career. This is who and his adaptation, because at first he gave us a legitimacy that we did not have at all. And then he just kind of came around to us, and I love that. His adaptability is really, really cool.
Yep.
Let's do this. This comes from Andrea. The U.S. curling team. What comes to mind when I say that?
I remember
into what we all got.
Man.
But how about I remember when we had those two on for the first time, and we're like, what the fuck are we doing? We're having curlers on. Like, who cares? And that was kind of the point. It was like, cute story, but whatever. They're Minnesotans and they're going to go to the Olympics and get slaughtered. Nobody cares about curling. We had no idea they were going to be, number one, great dudes, but number two, that they would kind of steal the show of the entire Olympics, right?
Yeah.
Like the country, not just, the power trip fans and like the Twin Cities, the country fell in love with curling for like a good week and a half.
Oh, yeah.
And so we had no idea that we were just, knocking the snowball down the hill and watching it. It was like a cute story, and I'll get out of here. And then those guys ended up being super nice. We've met them a billion times since then. They're awesome guys. Obviously, we're closest with Tyler, but
Mark
they're all
Rosen
super good
bought
dudes.
a Manny's.
Right. One of the all-time great bits, promising to buy Manny's if they win gold. And weren't they like 16-1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
20-1?
Then,
Something like that.
he no-showed.
Super nice guys.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah, he had to
He
work.
had to
Yeah,
work,
it said
man.
his phone didn't work.
Yeah, like a block away from Manny's.
Literally, you could see it from Manny's.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a great bit, man. I just watching that and seeing it happen. Yeah.
Well, we watched it live
Yeah.
because it was on. It was like it was 7 p.m. out there when it was on at prime time there, but it was on at 5:30 in the morning here. It was sweet.
But back to PA and Dubé, by the way, that's what I think they did maybe better than anybody on this station in the history of the station is they liked to kind of dig their claws into people before they were big deals. And basically you would kind of watch these athletes take the ride and then the show would kind of follow their careers, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of them fizzled out. But if you found the 6th round rookie and all of a sudden 3 years later he's a Pro Bowler, then PA and Dubé had like their hooks in them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I felt about the curling team is we're like, yeah, this is an absolute flyer. This is just a 2-second bit. We'll
they're
just
going to
move
be
on.
out in a weekend.
Right. And then
Yeah.
we'll never talk to them again or talk about them again. And then they ended up being the story of the Olympics and the rest is history. So
Yeah. That was
it's
sweet.
kind of fun to try once in a
Somebody
while.
wants me to ask you in particular about the Minnesota High School sports league or whatever the hell it's called.
No comment. No, I mean,
Controversial.
Whoa.
I differences,
Greasy.
but I like covering high school sports. Had a time of my life last night, and hopefully everything goes well this month, and we have a proper state tournament for all the sports and all that. So
Bitchin'.
Wow.
yeah,
Chad wants to know
Bitchin'.
what's the most humbling, crushing failure you've had happen on the power trip, the one that really hurt.
Me.
I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at you, but I'm not looking at you. I mean, there's a million bits that have failed, but as crushing stuff goes, obviously the day Star was fired was shocking and scary and sad.
Yeah,
We've had
sucked.
other coworkers fired over the last couple of weeks that were crushing and sad. And anytime that kind of thing happens, that's really bad. But as far as the show goes, we've had, the first 10, 11 years of the show, were filled with crushing failures and mistakes and things as we learned and went on the way. We did, it seems weird to think about now, but I can remember doing the morning show at the state fair to 3 people and thinking, obviously you realize it's the morning, it's the fair just opened.
I can't believe they sent you.
It was
Dumb. It was really dumb. But sitting there thinking to myself, if is this really what our audience is? Is it ever going to get any better than this? And that was bad. I remember doing live broadcasts from places, at an auto dealership and like 7 people showing up and it wasn't like we were there to do an appearance. We were live on the air,
right?
And like 7 people would show up and the client would be looking at you like, what the hell is this all about? And I'd be like, yeah, well, we suck. So there's been plenty of humbling, but again, not to sound like I'm writing a self-help book, but that's the stuff you realize, okay, this isn't working. So what the hell are we going to do? How are we going to change this? And so, man, every failure turned out to be a learning experience for real.
Yeah. And there were times that I would go home, and again, this is probably at least 10 years old, but I would go home some days and go like, who would ever listen to this show? Yeah. And I would feel bad about the show the rest of the day going like, God, it wasn't funny. It wasn't interesting. Like we had no vibe. We had nothing going, just worthless 2 or 3 or 3.5 hours of radio. And I just don't have that anymore. I'm not saying we don't have bad shows. We definitely do, but I don't ever leave the show going like, God, that was worthless. Like, I think now we have a crew and a rotation where we're always having fun. So I don't go home and get depressed about the show, even if the show's like a B-.
Yeah.
We don't have Fs anymore.
Right.
We had Fs.
Oh, we
had a lot of D pluses and some Fs back in the day. Now a bad show is just okay and we move on.
Yeah.
So I like that our it feels like our basement is higher than it used to be.
What about you? What do you do? Yeah.
No, I just agree with what you guys said.
Perfect.
Cool.
Great stuff.
All right.
Thank you.
Good to see.
Dynamite drop in.
Somebody wants me to say Antje meets us. What do you think of when I say the word Antje Utgaard?
You probably think of a couple things.
Yeah, there's a couple of things.
TikTok, Instagram.
Was she nice to you when you were out there?
She's everybody that's one of the main things everybody always asks me. She's so sweet. I think when she realized that I wasn't somebody who needed something from her and she kind of put her guard down. She's the nicest gal ever. She's a small town gal from Wisconsin.
Yeah, right.
She was so kind and sweet and everything. Yeah, she's an amazing human being. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. Yeah.
Her TikTok is incredible.
She's beautiful.
Yeah,
she's just stunning. Yeah, she's
stunning.
If you don't know what we're talking about, it's ANTJE.
Yep.
UTG. Is it 2 A's?
I think so.
Yeah.
AARD, and she's an Instagram.
She's an absolute sweetheart.
Couple million followers.
Yeah, she's
stunning.
Yeah,
OnlyFans.
yeah. Zach,
Jesus,
Just trying to help her out.
now he's just staring
That's so
into
nice of you. Yeah.
nothingness.
OnlyFans.
Let's see. Yeah, people like you would like you to calm down, Zach.
I apologize.
Take 5, buddy.
Yeah, you know what? The Bears disciple. I hear this all the time, and I completely agree. You want to hear more from Max on the show. We do too. He's got a full-time job.
Right.
I mean, you can't.
Yeah, he's the best.
I've told him, and he was sick this past week, so he couldn't come in. But I've told him a million times, we'll take you as much as we can. But he works overnight. You have to literally come here from work after working all night long. So we'd have him on as much as we could. I feel the same way about Brienne. I feel the same way about everybody but Ben.
What about Ben Lieber?
I wish
Ben Lieber sucks, dude.
I wish that Ben.
That guy cost us a Super Bowl.
Ben, there's a spot right here, buddy. Right here. No. We're doing the after party podcast live.
This is our
There's a billion people out there.
This is
It's
our
between two ferns.
This is our sex addict
walk
meeting.
really
Have a seat.
slowly across the stage so people can get a good look at you. Look at him. There he goes. Look at that guy right there. What? Oh, look at there.
Zach smashes his brand new iPhone
didn't
12
care.
to see
Well
Ben
worth it.
bend over.
Ben, what are you doing, buddy?
Gonna shoot a podcast. Or I guess not shoot one. That's probably the wrong
Wow.
term, but record one.
Don't shoot this one,
Yeah,
please.
please.
Yeah.
It's
I'm gonna
already
shoot this
dead.
one. So This is cool. This is cool. This is new. Huh?
Yeah.
This is every Friday for us now.
Fridays.
We've been doing it live on whatever the Yard Breaker or whatever the hell it's called. I don't know what it's called. Whatever the hell it is. But now we've got a full studio because nobody's using this and they gave it to us. This is the Ben Lieber Memorial Studios at City 97 Studios.
This is the wasted space in the building.
Exactly.
Yeah. So just do something with
Do
it.
something. Yeah.
Exactly right. Cool.
Yeah.
Anything
You
else?
caught the end of it. You can tell we're running out.
Yeah.
This is the end.
Pat, how are you?
I'm good, Ben.
Pat, Ben,
Yeah,
Pat.
That's about the only part that I heard that I had got out of my car, and then I'm like, what the hell is he doing?
Dude, I'm not
Pat.
kidding you.
Pat.
Sometimes I go into a trance and I forget where I am. And I
Who
was
you are.
I was in a trance and I'm thinking about my buddy Patrick. And I just go, Pat. Like I wasn't even ringing in.
But why would you think about your buddy Pat? when you're
Because
playing initials?
I'm worried
know.
about him.
And the initials were M.E.
I don't know, man. There's a lot going on.
Pat.
I fell off a jungle gym when I was 5 and hit my head on concrete. That's why.
Yeah, you thought you could fly, huh?
No, I'm
We had
too
one of those
fat to
kids in our
fly.
school.
Only thing you hit your head on was a concrete mixer.
No, that'd be great.
Oh, you
Bye,
leaving
Ben.
already?
Bye, Ben. We're done anyway.
Bye.
I hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave.
Yep.
He
Bye.
just flipped you off.
Okay. And real quick one, somebody did ask, I'll answer the question. So I never talked about what happened with The Voice, my audition there. So it was a weird thing because it was virtual and they do different stages. So you send a few songs and then if you make it to the next stage, you sing.
I didn't know you
acapella.
did this.
What?
When did you do this?
Yeah, I mentioned it before on the after party. Actually, yeah, we've talked about it.
What?
What?
Where was I?
I almost made it, dude. I was this close.
I had no
To
idea.
The Voice?
If I had made it past one more stage, this was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I don't think I knew this.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, well, I wasn't allowed to talk about it until I didn't make it. But it was all virtual. So I'll just give you a quick synopsis of the story. So thanks to our friend Kat Perkins, they reached out to her and said, do you know anybody who would be a good option? She put my name in. They asked me to sing some a cappella songs, literally just standing in front of the camera and singing. So I did that. The next round then was send them video of me actually singing on stage. Did that. Then they did an interview process with me, like a Zoom thing. And then I had to sing a few more songs of their choosing. Anyway, I kept going.
Who's they? Like, how many people are on this Zoom call? These are like producers of the show?
No, they hire casting agents
Mm-hmm.
who specifically, this is their job to find people. Like literally, they're like John Lovitz's character in whatever that show and movie is, League of Their Own.
Yeah.
Like they literally go out and find people, and if one of their people get on the show, I guess that they probably get a bonus or anything like that. But I'm not kidding you. I was driving home from being at the hospital with my dad right after I had a stroke. And I got a call saying, okay, you've made it to the next round. If you make it through this round, you're going to get to go to California. And I didn't make it through the next round. But it was really close, though, man. And I got a lot farther than I thought I would, especially, being almost 50 years old at the time and everything. And
What rippers would you have sang if you had hit the stage in California?
From
distance?
From what Kat tells me, you're not allowed to pick.
Oh, really?
They tell you what to sing.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think I'm telling. No, she told me this on my podcast one time, the Hawkcast thingy. So they told her she was going to sing. I forget what song she was going to sing for her first episode, like on television. And they said, no, that's not who you are for us. You're our rock girl. We need you to sing Heart. So they made her sing Barracuda because that's the role they wanted her to play on the show. So, but I don't know, man, it was really cool. I would never have even put my name into it unless they contacted me. And then when they did, I got excited. It would have been cool. I would have definitely gone, even though I would have had to take, I believe, 6 weeks off the show and take a leave of absence to do it. And you're not allowed to tell anybody why either.
Sure.
I would have done it just because what an experience.
And the stories afterwards would have been worth the 6 weeks off. Content for weeks or months.
But even if they reach out again, I won't go through that again.
All right.
I think
I'm good for you, man.
It was cool. Yeah,
It's
it was
cool.
good. It would have been cool to find out if I was good enough to make it on that stage. But anyway, so that's the story.
All right.
That's it.
Right on.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
See you, Pat.
Thank you.
Bye, Corey.
Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade. Love
Wales.
you. You're the
Bye.
best in the whole wide world. I want to drink
Bye.
you right now.
Bye.
Kiss me.
Bye.
When you finally try Bud Light Seltzer, your taste buds will thank you. In their own special taste bud way.